I used to think that sleeping was a complete waste of time. Your eyes are closed, your body is motionless. I mean, how could sleeping be productive? You're literally doing nothing. I thought Doctor Strange was so cool because while he was sleeping, he'd cast an astral projection form of himself to keep productive. In high school, I would pull all-nighters, sometimes doing homework, but mostly playing video games. In college, I would pull all-nighters studying for my exams. Little did I know that I probably would have been a better student and a better gamer if I had taken my sleep more seriously. Well, obviously I was wrong, but it's not for the reason that you'd expect. I'm not about to tell you that sleeping is more productive because it helps you recover energy for tomorrow. I'm sure you already knew that. It's more than that. If you look at the science of sleep, you'll realize that not only is sleep productive, it might be the most productive thing that you do all day. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Mike. I make videos with my brother Matty. We're both doctors and we love talking about the science behind productivity and learning. New videos every week. Subscribe and let's hang out. So recently I started my first job as a doctor, and half of my shifts take place at nighttime between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. At first I thought it was fine. I mean, you get paid substantially more for working at night, plus when you work at night, you get more days off to recover, which meant that I could work on making videos and music on my days off. But the hours quickly caught up with me. Sometimes I felt almost hungover the next day. Sometimes it took me multiple days to recover and reset my circadian rhythm. But the worst part was that on my days off, I was unmotivated to do any work, and I felt such brain fog, and I had a hard time remembering and focusing. And this really bothered me. Like, what's the point of having all these extra days off when you can't even use them? So I started to explore the science of sleep, and what I found was awakening, pun intended. While we were sleeping, we turn off our bodies, but not our brains. During a full night of sleep, which is about 7 to 9 hours, our brains transition between 3 different types of sleep: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. We cycle through all 3 of these phases approximately every 90 minutes, but the important thing to note is that every cycle is a little different. For example, the first sleep cycles right when you fall asleep have more deep sleep, and the last sleep cycles, right before you wake up, have more light sleep. So why does this matter? Well, some of you guys know that I love analogies, so let me try to use an analogy to convey to you just how productive our brains are during sleep. And the analogy I'm going to use is about note-taking, REM note. So you can think of deep sleep like taking and storing notes. So during the day, you've collected all these different notes into your little notebook. That little notebook in the brain is called the hippocampus. Your notebook is just a temporary storage space. During deep sleep, your brain attempts to file away each of your new notes into a more permanent place in your brain, into the specific areas where they belong. So what happens if you decide to stay up late and miss out on the first sleep cycle? Remember, these first cycles are heavy in deep sleep. Well, you would risk not properly storing away the hard-earned notes that you collected that day. Basically, going to sleep late means you don't give your brain the chance to save your work, and those notes could be lost forever. Because right after deep sleep comes light sleep. Light sleep is like the janitor. It goes through your notebook and gets rid of all the leftover notes and papers that you didn't care to save. Because after being awake all day long, your notebook gets full, and light sleep's job is to clean it out and make more room to prepare your hippocampus to learn new things the next day. When I stay up late trying to cram new information, I sometimes find myself rereading the same paragraph over and over again. My hippocampus, or my notebook, is full. I don't have the capacity to cram any more notes in there. See, in college, I would wake up super early to be productive and study. Like, I would wake up at 5 a.m. and try to get ahead. Well, what happens is if you wake up too early, you lose out on your last sleep cycles, the ones that have the most of your light sleep. So you might find it difficult to learn new things because you haven't given your brain the chance to clean out your notebook and make room for new notes. So waking up early and only getting like 5 hours of sleep is actually counterproductive. Finally, let's talk about REM sleep. During REM sleep, your brain is making connections between all the old and new notes that you've stored in your filing cabinets. And for all you REM note fans out there, no pun intended, REM sleep is when all the bidirectional linking happens. You're trying to make sense of all your stored memories and make new connections. That's why you sometimes hear about all the artists or musicians or mathematicians who had vivid dreams and wake up discovering some new creative idea or some new breakthrough in their field. So just to recap, deep sleep helps us save information, light sleep helps us learn new information, and REM sleep helps us make sense of our information. If you don't get a full night's sleep and you miss out on the important stages of deep, light, and REM sleep, you'll remember less, you'll learn less, and you'll understand less. So based on the science of sleep cycles, you'll come to realize how important it is to get a full 7 to 9 hours of sleep when it comes to learning and productivity. Now, when we're planning our sleep, a lot of us forget that lying in bed for 7 hours doesn't mean you're actually sleeping for 7 hours. You could be laying there doom scrolling through social media or tossing and turning for hours. I mean, I've had many nights when I was physically lying in bed for 7 hours, yet I only got like 4 real hours of sleep. So the solution to this is to train your body to fall asleep faster and to stay asleep. And there are a lot of unnatural ways that you can do this, like using pills, supplements, technology, paid products, some of which are amazing and some of which are expensive. Maybe I'll do a different video covering those topics, but in this video, I'm gonna take it back to the natural and fundamental methods, which also happen to cost nothing. So these natural habits are based on a simple sleep framework, which is comprised of 3 factors: temperature, timing, and light. Let's go through each one, starting with temperature. So our inner body temperature is coldest in the middle of the night. And as we get closer to waking up, our body temperature automatically rises and rises and rises until, boom, you get this boost of cortisol, and then you naturally wake up. When nighttime approaches, our body temperature starts to drop, and this makes us sleepy to get ready for bed again. So now that we know how our body temperature naturally works for sleep, how do we affect change? Well, an easy fix is to make sure that your bedroom is cool.
Your body needs to drop its core temperature by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit to fall asleep and then to stay asleep. And it's the reason you will always find it easier to fall asleep in a room that's too cold than too hot.
Use fans or use less blankets if you get really hot at night when you sleep. One of my favorite things to do is to take a warm shower before bedtime, because when hot water hits the skin on the outside of your body, you react by trying to cool down from the inside of your body. Therefore, taking a warm shower causes your body's temperature to drop in response. The opposite is true for cold showers. The cold water makes your body react by heating up your inner body temperature. That's why you see people taking cold showers in the morning to wake themselves up. Next, let's talk about timing. Our brain is conditioned by habits and rituals, and if you go to sleep at the same time every day, preferably in the same bed every day, your brain gets used to it and helps you establish a regular circadian rhythm.
Regularity is probably the most important thing I can tell you. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, no matter whether it's the weekend, weekday. Regularity is key.
Take myself, for example. Depending on what kind of night shift I'm on, I'm forced to sleep at a different time, and I'm assigned to a different call room with a different bed. So over time, I found it harder and harder to fall asleep because I've lost the regularity. And even when I get home, I'm unable to sleep during the daytime. And finally, let's talk about light. When we view light, like when light hits our eyeballs, there are certain chemical reactions that happen in our brain that kind of resets our circadian rhythm.
The simple way to think about this is you want as much light as is safely possible early in the day, morning and throughout the day, and you want as little light coming into your eyes, artificial or sunlight, after, say, 8 p.m. And certainly you do not want to get bright light exposure to your eyes between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m.
So the goal is to get the right kind of light exposure at the right time in order to get good sleep. After you wake up, make sure there is plenty of light around you. And the best way is to have natural light just pour into your bedroom. Or if you don't have that, go outside or onto your balcony for like 5 to 10 minutes with a cup of coffee if you want. Then at night, you want to do the opposite. You want to limit the amount of light that's hitting your eyeballs. That way you can get ready for bed. So let's put all 3 of these together. An easy way to clean up your sleep habits is to use a night routine. Routine is where timing comes in. Have an established bedtime and keep it regular. About an hour before you plan to sleep, start wrapping up your work and start turning down the lights. And try to avoid too much light coming from screens. And finally, it might be helpful to take a quick warm shower to rinse your body, bring down your body temperature, and get you feeling nice and clean before jumping into bed. So as you can see, getting enough quality sleep makes you more productive and it makes you smarter. Now, if you want a more in-depth, step-by-step approach to changing your habits, check out our free course on Skillshare, link in the description below. But if being smarter and more productive is not enough to inspire you to get better sleep, then consider sleeping in order to live longer. But that's a discussion for another video. In the meantime, check out this video where I talk about the type of sleep that you want to avoid. You can watch it by tapping on the screen right here.